Welcome to Entry Points Radio. Every week we share human-curated playlists to break the algorithm. We're going to take a deep dive into new tracks, new humans, and new sounds to fall in love with from around the world. I'm Kate Bass.
And I'm Richie Stagner. We founded Global Music Collective to discover and create new music across boundaries. We've spent the past decade meeting fascinating people in over 50 countries.
These are the real songs and real stories that we share with real people along the way. This is Entry Points Radio.
We're back!
I gave it to you. You can see it in my face that I gave it to you.
Wow, you let me win.
I let you win.
It feels bad.
Well, it should feel good to I don't know.
No,
you're right. It feels terrible.
I want to win fair and square, like Belgium over the United States.
Oh God, we're not even 2 minutes in, and you had to make a World Cup joke.
Look, it's funny to me that all of a sudden we're all soccer fans and everybody's like really big into soccer, and then 20 minutes ago it was like, oh, what's soccer? I don't like soccer. Soccer's a dumb sport. I only watch basketball and football. And
I mean, to be fair to Americans, I don't think that I know many Americans who said it was a dumb sport. It's just not a sport that was popular here. And I am fully enjoying the World Cup this year, but it was really depressing we talked about this on the phone the other day. I got depressed seeing how people so quickly turned from being like, oh, we're Europeans in America. We didn't know how great everyone was here and how nice people really are when you take away the politicians and you just put them in a room together. And then this thing happened. We can't put that in the podcast. But it still just kind of bummed me out how quickly everyone went from like brotherhood to like we hate it. I don't know. I'm still kind of conflicted on the whole thing.
I am too.
Not on the World Cup, just on sports in general. Like,
fair enough.
Sorry.
Broadly all sports. If you like sports, Kate is not your person.
I'm not sure. But I like sports. People think I don't like sports just because I consistently make this. Yeah, like you know I'm a baseball fan. I feel like you had something intelligent to say and I talked over you. No, it
was probably hardly intelligent. But I mean, it is interesting. There's a lot of soccer fans here in the US that are psyched to see some football fervor. It's cool to see something different, to see a lot of different countries here in the U.S. enjoying the U.S. and a lot of parts of the U.S. enjoying other countries. And that's kind of been our work for the last decade or so is exchanging culture. And it's kind of fun to see that like sort of imported over here.
I agree.
You're squinting.
I'm uncertain about the exchanging of culture when it's through something as divisive as sports. I don't know. It's just tough for me because like I want to love it. But it's really difficult how quickly people change. That's all. It's just really difficult for me. I have a hard time with it. I'm like, if you're friends, you're friends. And it's okay if one person wins this time and one person wins this time. And anyway, I know it's all about underhanded, shady goings on. But that's always the way of the world. It's not the everyday people who are underhanded and shady. Anyway, I just ruined it again.
Sorry, we can start the podcast here.
I'm in a mood today.
You're in a mood today. Why? What puts you in the mood today? That's not the way to say that.
This also doesn't need to go on the podcast. Maybe I just have to put all of this on the podcast. I am in a mood today because I went around for 3 hours this morning with different AI help bots on Meta's site because we were hacked. Global Music Collective, our well-intentioned and not very lucrative nonprofit organization, was hacked. And it's just fascinating to me because there are so many moments that I feel like I don't want to have anything to do with social media. I don't want to have to sit around dealing with 3 hours of, and I get it. The reason why there are no humans for us to talk to is that we get the service for free, which is not true because we're paying with like our actual identities and data and everything. But
there is a cost for sure.
But we as creators, and, you know, we used to call ourselves artists, and now we're really more creators, you know, not that I'm bitter or anything. I mean, we have to use these technologies. I mean, you and I were talking the other day because there's this new $1.4 trillion lawsuit out on Meta. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what do you think is going to happen? And I've been thinking about that. Like, what would happen if Meta went down? I mean, that's WhatsApp, that's Facebook, that's Instagram. Like, what would happen? I feel like we'd all be like, yeah, we're so excited. And then we'd be like, oh no, how do we get in touch with each other? What are we
Where am I?
doing?
What's happening? Whose birthday is it? There is a whole theory called the dead internet theory. I'm sure you've probably heard of it.
I
where
haven't.
It's this idea and theory and, I don't know, maybe a hypothesis that most of the internet now is made up of bots just talking to bots. And because, I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen the AI ads that say like, oh, you can automate your posts or you can automate your accounting stuff. Everything can be automated, including your online persona. And there's this theory that basically everybody, on Reddit, Facebook, Instagram is just bots posting AI pictures and other bots commenting on it. And the rest of the humans like, I don't. So maybe, just maybe, if Facebook does go down, we won't actually notice anything at all. And the entire bot industry will collapse under itself. I don't know.
Maybe, but then how will people know about any of the work that any of the artists are doing? Like, do we just go back to like, playing for people throwing quarters in a hat? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know. It does seem like the best way that we've found to advertise so far seems to be our friends telling friends about it. So
yeah,
if you like Entry Points Radio, please go tell a friend. Please
Richie,
post about it
you're
on Instagram.
Plug monster. I didn't know you were such a plug monster.
Yeah,
that
no,
sounds really
it's
wrong.
disgusting. Plug monster. We can start the podcast now.
Let's start the podcast again.
Yeah, we did one recording on accident. This is now 2. Anyway.
Richie, your background is not blue. You have left the blue void. And
I have
you
escaped the blue
now
void.
Tell everyone
Big
where
news.
you are.
Where am I? Well, I am in the Windy City, Los Angeles.
The
What is
Big
the-
Apple.
What is just City of Angels? Is that what they?
I think it's City of Angels.
Yep. As of 2 days ago, I am now a resident of Los Angeles, California. We packed up our little hybrid car with everything that we could fit in the back of it and drove through the desert into California, and we are here now. We live in Los Angeles, and
Congratulations.
it has been like, thank you. We've been gunning for this for like 10 years. So yeah, here we are.
We were talking about how crazy it is when you have something that you've been dreaming about for so long or talking about or planning for so long, and then all of a sudden you're just there and there's this moment that you're like, oh.
Yeah. There's very much, I find this with like so many things in life, is that a lot of these things don't come with a big finish line celebration. So many times life just doesn't give you a like, you did it. It's not like that. You have to find ways to enjoy and celebrate your own successes in your own way, because nobody's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was the first day we went out and we got dumplings. That was our
Nice.
way to celebrate arriving. It wasn't
You got to get sushi. You got to get LA sushi.
LA sushi. Okay.
LA
well,
sushi is a whole thing. Are you guys sushi people?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Which has been weird because Australia, you would assume, has amazing sushi being surrounded by all water. It's an island and there's fish everywhere. But the sushi game, sorry, Australia, is off point. It is not. It's
it
not
was the
that
same.
great.
It was the same problem in Alaska because, well,
What?
in Alaska, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what the reason is behind it,
No.
but most of the Alaskan fish, so sockeye salmon, all of the, the famous salmon in Alaska, they have these worms that, like, you don't
Okay.
eat the worms, but you don't want to eat the fish raw. I don't. At least in my understanding of this, maybe there's some new innovative Alaskan sushi, but it's the same thing. You would think like, oh my God, this is literally salmon land. Not literally, but it is. It is salmon land.
Yeah. And it's about as close to Japan as you can get in the U.S. I don't know. I feel like is it? Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe Hawaii's closer.
I think Hawaii might be closer, but yeah. I don't know. I guess
And-
Hawaii does have good sushi. They have poke.
That makes more sense.
I'm hungry.
Now I want sushi. All right, podcast over.
You're in
we'll
LA,
be back later.
so you'll have no problem. You'll get great sushi. Okay,
Great.
we'll talk about that later. So anyway, Richie's in LA. This is
so
all
we
very
moved.
exciting. Yes.
I also have fun news that like literally just came in as we were logging in, and I don't know if this is even like worth mentioning, but I have just been allowed, invited, accepted into the Recording Academy. So All the
He's
stuff that
real
I've been.
now.
I'm a real musician after 20 years of recording and traveling. Now I can be. No, it's we did it so that maybe we could submit our India album and some of the other things that we've recorded and produced. We wanted to submit those for Grammy consideration, mostly to just bring more awareness and spotlight to the people we've worked with. That's the goal. But
Yeah.
that email came in today, so I'm pumped.
Yay!
Sushi is going to happen after this as a celebration.
Celebratory
for that,
sushi.
too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like you were just talking about your milestone of moving to LA and how we have these things that we build up, and I keep thinking it's like you kind of get used to the grind and the hustle and the climbing, that I always wonder if anyone ever feels like they just get to this point where they're like, I made it to the top, now I can relax. From what I hear, nobody ever seems to feel that way. It seems like it just kind of can. Once you get there, then you're worried about, how do I keep this? What happens if I lose this? What's next after that? And anyway, there's an insight into Kate's psyche for the day.
That's very real. The people that we're staying with here for the first couple of weeks, they have some kids, and the first thing they asked me when they found out I'm in music is they asked if I'm a YouTuber. And
they didn't even ask if you're famous anymore. It's just, are you a YouTuber?
No. Well, that was. I'll rewind a little further. There's a story there. So my three nieces and nephew. My sister has 4 kids, and they're all lovely, and they all know that I do music, and they've seen my videos and songs and everything. And they've asked, like, "Are you famous, Uncle Richie? Are you famous?" And my answer is generally no. Part of the reason you ask this is that you get to go to school and say, "My uncle is famous, and your uncle isn't." And then when you look up my Instagram and YouTube, and we have 37...
29.
29. Sorry, I overshot it. The fish was this big. You're like, all right, so maybe he's not famous. So I don't want to like build it up for them, and then they go brag about a not so famous uncle. I've got some, fame in like the Z level, Z-lister, but...
Oh, I mean, let's be honest here. Richie has many more followers than Entry Points Radio does.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
But anyway, so we were on the street out, and a friend of mine came by, and his kid recognized me from Rhythm Barnyard, and they actually stopped and came back, and his kid was like, "Are you Rickety Richie?" with kind of these like stars in his eyes, and I was like, "See, I am famous. Look, this is how famous I am." To have that happen in public, IRL, in real life, was cool.
Do you want to tell everyone what Rhythm Barnyard is, and also like probably where they saw you?
Where they saw me?
It's going to come full circle. Where they saw how they knew about Rhythm Barnyard. What platform might they have discovered Rhythm Barnyard on?
I see. Okay. So Rhythm Barnyard is a kids beatboxing show that I've created and produced like a whole season worth of episodes, and every episode I pick a new beat. It's a talking beat that I've like animated.
A beat like a vegetable, everybody. Like a beet.
A beetroot, or B-E-E-T, B-E-A-T.
Very
anyway,
cute.
very clever. And then you go around the barn and you pick up 3 different sounds from different animals, and then at the end of the episode you put it together into this cool song. Kids learn music, they learn beatboxing, they learn pattern recognition, linguistics, everything. And linguistics. I should probably say linguistics.
They definitely learn linguistics.
Any word in that sentence is said clearly. It should be linguistics. Anyway, so I've produced all these episodes, and we're really proud of it. We do some live stuff too, where we teach and perform. But it's all on YouTube right now, and that's probably where this young man found us and saw us.
I have to say, I feel kind of ashamed when I think about. I've just never gotten into YouTube. I don't know. I did live opera for so long. That's not the kind of thing where you get a lot of like digestible clips to put up on YouTube, that are good recording quality. And I just never really got into that side of things. And it's interesting because if you go to my YouTube page, it's like there's like hardly anything there. There's some clip from when I was, I have like red hair, and I'm like, it's really abysmal. And it's funny because when you say this about Rhythm Barnyard, and I still hear from people all the time about YouTubers.
And there's just these communities all over the place you don't realize until you kind of dive into it. And it's, of course, the internet is its own weird ecosystem of places to be.
Yeah. My
probably.
YouTube is really like a desert of, of rocks, of not much color and
Desert
not
rock.
much geologic interest.
Sounds like what we drove through last couple of
How
days.
could you say that? You drove through Arches, the most beautiful part of Utah.
Arches was spectacular, certainly. No, towards the end of Utah, it starts to get a little gray and dead, and there's a beauty in it, certainly. But
that's like my YouTube. You're right. You're right.
Anyway.
I have to tell you, I'm sorry.
Check out Kate Bass Music on YouTube for Gray and Dead.
Do not go. I just have to tell you, so we're talking about how Richie just moved to LA. I am about to move myself. I actually just realized I have a tower of boxes that look kind of precarious behind me. My room is mostly empty. I'm moving on Saturday. I'm moving to a new apartment. And I just need you to know, Richie, this isn't going to probably make it, but one of the few things that I have not yet packed is my favorite rock.
Just keeping it out for company.
It's just like my empty desk with like some pens and my favorite rock. I don't know why. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Listen, I think today you should go first.
Oh, me
I
first.
Keep going
Okay.
first.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Brrr,
Ooh.
da.
99 Luftballon. Da, 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 da. Is that what it is?
That is that. Yep. That is the 99 Luftballons song. But it was originally by Nina.
By Nina?
Nina, N-E-N-A, was like the original singer. I think she's German. But it's a little more like 80s, like synth. It's a little more of that. Yeah. When I was in high school, me and my friend Garrett, we were big like punk and ska fans, which is, I don't know how predictable or lame that is, but we were.
So perfect for the 90s. Do you remember skank dancing? Sorry, just had to say that.
Of course I do.
I used
Skank
to
and pickle.
love skank dancing. What's skank and pickle?
There's a picture of a pickle that is doing the skanking, which, yeah.
Oh, the skanking pickle. I see. I thought you said skank and pickle.
Well, it has the apostrophe after the I-N. It's
Skankin'.
not skanking. Skankin'. So I had to, say it appropriately.
Skanking.
Anyways, so 99 Red Balloons. There were a couple of songs as a teenager that, I don't know. I think it's just like there are songs that really hit the right notes in your head. And me and Garrett would blast the song at full volume. And it would always just like get our energy going and get us hyped up. And I don't know why it was this song. At the time, I don't think I understood like anything about it or whatever. But my sister, who listens to this podcast, she was like, Hi, Megan. Where is the Richard playlist from high school days? And I was like, I got to put something on there. So 99 Red Balloons, that was the song. And it's kind of embarrassing, but Garrett, we would go over to each other's house and just stay there on a Friday and like, and sleep over and usually listen to music or play video games. And this song, we put it on one night and we got like so riled up that we started like kind of like wrestling and like kind of beating each other up, which as I'm like picturing that in my mind's eye, I'm like that probably looked pretty stupid. And in the process, I think one of us threw something and it hit the light on the roof, like the little light cover, the glass light cover, and it came shattering down. And this was like, you're teenagers and your mom's over in mom's room and you're making this bunch of noise. And we were like, oh, crap. And so we like turned the music off, laid down, and then realized there's just like glass everywhere. But you have to wait it out until like your mom either comes in or you're in the clear. She didn't hear breaking glass in your room.
Did she find out? Did you guys get in trouble?
Of course she found out. She didn't get we didn't get in trouble because we took care of it. But I listened to it back again and I was like, what part of me got that excited from this song? Like, it's a fun song.
And for those of you who don't know about skank dancing, I'm very sorry and I hope you learn. It's actually very fun.
Will you demonstrate?
No, I will not.
Okay. So yeah, here's the skanking. Okay, well, I'm going to start back at the top of the list with Cautious Clay. we did this road trip from Colorado to Los Angeles, and in the process of that, you pass through this really extensive series of deserts, whether through Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and then California. And there is a specific tree in California that is very unique to the area. It's called a Joshua tree. It's another one of those kind of like sparsely produced tracks that has some cool vocals to it that I really like. But it's a funky looking tree, and we looked it up as we were driving. I was like, why is it called a Joshua tree? It was because like the people that were out there
were all named Joshua.
They were all named Joshua.
This can be our tree, finally. Sorry.
No. So the people that were out there as settlers, they thought it looked like Joshua, the prophet, that was outstretching his arms, which I was like, I don't know.
I like my version better.
Yeah, I did. It seemed kind of tenuous to be like, that is a man's arms who is a prophet. It's like, okay, or a tree. That being said, it's a really beautiful desert, and as you like move through this road trip, the landscape keeps changing, and you've gone from this very like sparse, dead nothingness into the spot where these kind of scraggly alien trees are there to, I guess, greet you like Joshua. But Joshua Tree, it's a great song. I think
it's also. I love the area. Joshua Tree is a great place to go hiking.
Go hiking, yeah.
All
you need
those
plenty
Joshes.
Of water.
All right.
The next song on there is Temper Trap, a song called Burn. They have a song called Sweet Disposition, which I considered putting on there. Everybody's heard that, and it's always kind of makes its rounds into commercials, and I've used it as like inspiration for other songs. But I wanted to pick a song from them that was a little, I don't want to say B-side, because this one also made plenty of rounds. But I've listened to this song probably 150 times. The lead singer's voice, I can't really hit those notes, and it's always, the way it sits in the track is something that I really like, and I have to sing it in my falsetto. For those of you who don't know falsetto, it's like my voice is down here, la 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 la, but if I have to sing a high note, I have to switch and like yodel up like that, like just to be alive. That, like, I can't sing that in my chest voice. I have to sing it in my falsetto or head voice, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you music nerds call it.
Don't even get me started on my issues with the fact that it's called falsetto. Like, it's not your false voice. Anyway.
I knew you were going to say something about it, but anyways, whatever voice it is, it's...
Sorry.
Kate and I will talk later about how
the female voice couldn't possibly be real.
Is that what that's from?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, the truth is, like, women in general, our natural range is our head voice. So like da 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 da. That's all my head voice. If I'm gonna sing like this, that's chest voice. But for men, you just have your voice or falsetto. Do you see where I'm going with this? I find that really kind of really too bad. But it's a term from many years ago, and I don't actually know the etymology behind it. But I've always kind of felt a little weird about it when singers talk about it.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Now I want to, maybe we'll have a whole episode about this, but I feel like I'm cheating anytime I sing falsetto. I feel like it's not.
It's not cheating. It's just a part of your voice. Okay.
The next song is by a Hong Kong band called Beyond. Cool. And this song translates to Boundless Oceans, Vast Skies. And the Cantonese title is... Cantonese, by the way, has, I think it's 9 different tones when you're speaking it. It's extremely difficult language to speak correctly, so I'm not even going to give that a go.
Are you going to try?
No.
Oh. Dang it.
Maybe I will. Maybe. Should I try?
Try. If you don't like it, we won't put it in.
Hoi Fu Ting Hong, I think. So as a band, we traveled to Hong Kong in, I think it was 2012. And it's become certainly one of my favorite cities, and almost certainly it's because we met some incredible people while we were there. We did a big festival, and all of the volunteers that came and sort of helped us out through the festival, they've become really good friends. As an early band, as a group of people that had no idea what we were doing, and traveling to was essentially a very foreign country, they made us feel very welcome. And I think that's one of the most important parts of travel. And one of the reasons why I've started to look at travel differently is because Hong Kong, the language is different, the food is different, the way that you interact is different. I don't know the hotels, any of the customs and culture. It's so foreign, to use that word as accurately as I can. But getting to know people and getting to laugh and share food and language and joke about things, that made 100% of the difference. And so anytime anybody out there is traveling, I think it's nice to go to like these resorts where everything is curated, or the all-in-one hotels where you don't have to go outside. I would always recommend, like, forget that. If you can, if it's safe, like, walk out and go to the local market, or go see a person and struggle with the language for a little bit and try to be a nice person to them. And in return, I think your life is enriched fully. So I wanted to include this song on there. It's a song from this like super famous band in Hong Kong. It's a big, beautiful rock anthem. It's kind of a pro-democracy song. And in Hong Kong, I know there's a lot of controversy around that, so I'm not sure how much I could say about it. The words are what they are, but, there's much more context around music. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. And especially as an outsider looking in to a different culture's context around a song, Hoi Fu Ting Hong, is it's cool to see, like, this means a lot to you. The song is just, it's nice to me, but I can kind of see like there's a much bigger picture around this track than meets the eye. And that to me is intriguing.
Yeah, that makes total sense. That makes a lot of sense. And it's such an interesting thing. I mean, I've experienced this a lot, that there will be a song that I'll love for years, and then I'll find out what the lyrics actually mean. And sometimes it's this magical moment of like, oh, that's so beautiful. And sometimes it's like, oh, I've been sharing that with all these people. And like,
yeah, that makes me think of the song Hallelujah, and it shows up in weddings a lot, and it's a much deeper song. Next time you hear that, I don't want to like give it away because it's my interpretation still, and it's the song is written the way it was, but listen to the lyrics. It's a gorgeous song, beautiful song. Everybody's heard it and probably wept at some point to some version of it, but to include that as a straight up love song in a wedding, I was like, oh, there's more to this song.
It's not a cry that you hear at night. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Anyway, I agree with you. That's a really good example. Richie, years back when I was in high school, I got hired to sing at a wedding. And the song that they wanted me to sing as they walked down the aisle was the Titanic song, the near, far, wherever you are. Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm really excited to listen to this song. Thank you. I don't know if I've heard much music coming out of Hong Kong, so thank you for sharing that.
Certainly. Yeah, certainly. And think of it too, like they played this live a lot. And so think of this in the context of a big outdoor concert. It really kind of sets a cool tone.
That's awesome.
So go listen to it. It's a great song. I'm going to move on to the next two songs I've included as sort of like a couplet. And
a couplet. I have a couplet in mind too.
Have you now? So there are two songs on here. The one that I heard first was Things Done Changed by the Notorious B.I.G. And the second one is Lil Ghetto Boy, Dr. Dre, Daz and Snoop. They both use the same sample, and it's like a prominent vocal sample in there. It's actually the title of the Biggie song. That's the sample that gets played over and over in both of these tracks. And it's funny to me because I heard it and I was like, wait a minute. When I listened to Lil Ghetto Boy, I was like, that song, that's from another song from the other side of the country. And I think we have this idea that there was this huge East Coast, West Coast rivalry and bias and everybody hate each other. But that was completely contrived. A lot of these artists like Nas and Dr. Dre, like there's a lot of East Coast and West Coast rappers that would collaborate. And this sample, when I first heard that, it started to shake my head up and say like, well, wait a minute. And so listen to both songs. I think it's kind of fun to hear the sample, and it's indicative of the way that hip-hop works in general, or at least used to work, where you're pulling these samples that people recognize. And this was the first time that I recognized the sample from another hip-hop song rather than just from like a funk or a disco or a jazz track.
That's very cool.
So check them out. Calabaixo basically means like it's super hot. And it's slang. So if you're looking it up, it's in Portuguese. Ludom is what she goes by now. She is this incredible Brazilian artist. Her voice is just gorgeous. I got to work with her in a program in Colombia, as well as Zule Guerra, the next artist on there. But I wanted to kind of include the two of them on there, sort of in a honorific to World Cup teams. And I just thought of Brazil, and then I thought, oh, Ludom, she just has a gorgeous voice. And I remember doing this program. We went down to Colombia in Cali, and they brought in all these artists from different countries in South America, Central America, and even Canada. And it was like, what am I doing here? I'm a beatboxer, and I'm a great beatboxer and a great teacher and a great, presenter. But I'm here with these artists who were just insane. Their ability to write, to sing, perform, their knowledge of music theory is off the charts. And I think the cool thing about it, too, is that particularly in Latin America, you've got artists that are drawing deeply from Afro-Cuban experience and influence. A lot of what we have in the U.S. comes from that sort of lineage of music, and all the way up through ska and punk. It's sort of, departures and re-arrivals into rock music and jazz and blues and and soul music. And it's like all of these kind of go back through that part of the world, at least for the U.S. And so when you hear somebody sing music that comes from there, you hear stuff that you're like, oh, that reminds me of this and this and this. Sort of in a way, the sample from the Biggie song and Dr. Dre's song reminds you of each other. This is like, it feels deep. It feels like I know this somehow. And I don't know how I know this because it's a different style. It's a different genre than I'm used to. But there's something familiar in there. And I think if you kind of listen to it, you can kind of feel, I know this is so esoteric, but give it a listen.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I don't even know what this means. You have to look this up, and it's slang. It's Brazilian slang. It's not even like, straight Portuguese. It's like, well, it comes from a region. It's so specific to her and her experience, but it still feels familiar to my ear. And same with Zule's song El Viaje. She is more of a jazz singer, another just absolutely gorgeous voice. And I think what intrigues me about her voice is that she does a little bit of scat style singing, but it's more like rhythmic. It's more beatboxy almost. And so this song kind of starts with her singing that. She's so like effortlessly bounces between notes and sings still with like such emotion. And she's lovely to work with. So I really wanted to include a couple of artists that I got to work with in Colombia, and they're fabulous singers and writers and musicians. And it was, yeah.
That's amazing.
Listen to it. I think you'll like it.
I loved what you said. I didn't think it was esoteric. I think that it's a really interesting point. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to reflect on the roots of popular music in this part of the world. And it's interesting also, it's probably a much longer conversation, but to think about popular music in Europe and how their roots come from very often from things like classical music, but then it mixed eventually with American rock. And now everything is all jumbled together. It's kind of a beautiful thing to think about how we all affect each other more than we realize we do, but we really do. It's just really cool to think about. So yeah, I'm excited to hear that. I remember, I said this last time, but I remember that program that you did and just being so blown away by all the musicians. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Check these guys out.
Okay.
Departure
How to Train Your Dragon? I love it.
If you've listened to our podcast so far, you know that I'm a sucker for
He likes the soundtrack.
Cinematic soundtracks. And this one, when I'm kind of working or coding, I like to have something that just kind of like gets your brain going. And this particular song I always thought was like really huge and big, and I love to imagine the images behind songs. Obviously, it's a soundtrack to a film, so it kind of gives you the imagery, but this song, it made it into like the rounds of social media, and I think a lot of people started putting it onto these big reveal style reels, and it was often mixed with another song, I think from Hunchback of Notre Dame, but I thought it was cool, like that people maybe had never seen the film, but they had taken this song and overlaid it with kind of the same triumphant return style of imagery that you get in the movie. That they put that onto their reel. I thought that was kind of cool. But
That's
I love
awesome.
this song. The whole soundtrack. I think that's really cool about soundtracks is that they get a motif of a melody and they weave it through. And then this song, which comes like I think third to last in the whole soundtrack, it finally like gives you this like. It's like it finally gives you this what they've been hinting at for an hour and a half, and I love it.
Richie, I just have to say really quickly, I love
I
that
get
you.
too excited. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Chill out.
I think it's cool that you keep bringing soundtracks, and I haven't ever really talked about this, I don't think, with anyone, but all the years of classical singing and when I lived in Los Angeles, I worked with a lot of different film scoring composers. And it's really cool to watch them work and to watch how they work and even to be involved as a singer on their albums. Actually, maybe I'll bring some of that music in the future too. But these composers, it's such an art form. And it's interesting how, we all know John Williams and, Danny Elfman and people like that. But there are so many great composers who are composing for film. And it's cool because they're telling stories in a totally different way. And I'm just glad you keep bringing them. I think it's fun.
Well,
not to insist that you continue, but
oh, there's more to come. Don't worry, there's definitely more to come, and I probably will have a John Williams in here soon. He's obviously
quick rant on John Williams. I went to I went to classical music school, and so many people at my classical music school decided that they were going to posture around by saying that John Williams wasn't real music. It wasn't good music. And it was because they were acting like he was a sellout. It was this like, this ubiquitous thing where people will talk about how because someone succeeds that they're a sellout. And I remember always finding it so infuriating. Like Beethoven is amazing and John Williams is amazing and they're totally different. And not everything has to always be that, it's the most, I don't know, cerebral academic. Back in the day when Mozart and Beethoven were composing classical orchestral music, they were recording it in a way that was entertaining for the people at the time. That was the pop music of their time. And it just, John Williams has written some of the most enduring melodies that people all over the world know, so deeply. It's just, anyway, I always thought that was so annoying. But now that I'm older, I'm like, well, he doesn't care. He's fine. He doesn't care what some snot-nosed kid in his practice room at Manus College of Music is saying.
I've taken 3 semesters of music. I know everything. That sellout concept is pervasive. It came through like the punk music scene as well. Like obviously, if you made any success as a punk rock band, which there's no such I don't know any punk rock band that has like extraordinary Taylor Swift level success. There are certain maybe Green Day you could include in that. But
then people would fight about if that's punk or whatever.
They're not even punk. Yeah, exactly. So you either like have success or you have a genre. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. That's a discussion for another day.
That's another day. Okay.
Another podcast. I got to move quick because I'm belaboring everything. Jaguar, this was one of our most effective pump up songs as a band. You have that like 6 hours between sound check and the actual show. You're just like sitting there in the dressing room. This song, I don't know what it is about the drop in there, but it's like womp, 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 womp. And
it's your hype up song. This is the hype up song. Oh
yeah. And Christopher Diaz, I keep giving credit to Diaz because they were the one that brought a lot of this music to the table. But when it would come on, we all like would lose it, and it was like those little things when you push the button on the bottom and the giraffe like falls, and then you let the button go and it stands up again. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
It's a stupid thing. Anyway, this metaphor is apropos because we would kind of do that like as if the button had been pushed and our limbs go loose.
For those of you only listening, Richard is making an absolute fool of himself right now.
This is great.
But it's very evocative, and it's kind of like the what do you call those guys outside the gas station? The like air noodle
wacky
men?
Waving, arm flailing, inflatable tube. I know I'm missing one. Family Guy has it down, but anyway, it was very much that. Listen to Jaguar. By What's a Knot. What's a Knot's a great like dance band that's been around forever. Dance band, EDM. I don't call it whatever you want, but
dance band.
Yep, I loved it. Next one on the list is some acapella. You know me by now. I am an acapellaist. Acapella, I don't know what our demonym is. But this band is an LA band, and they are called Aurora. They used to be called Sonos, and they changed their name because that speaker system came in and basically like wiped out any SEO that they had. They're like, nobody can find us. Anytime you type in Sonos music, Sonos songs, it just is that. So they're like, we're going to change our name. But they are an absolutely gorgeous group of people that sing. They write original music, they write original songs, and they spend like years kind of belaboring the production and the performance of it. Some of it's kind of like computerized sounds, some of it is looped, some of it is just like straight vocal harmonies, and it's gorgeous. So we listened to this song as well. When I put Jaguar on there, I thought, oh yeah, we used to listen to Morning Light too. It's not a pump up song, it is very chill. Good morning, we have a flight and it's 5 a.m. So
that's a pump up in a way.
It is in a way, yeah.
Sometimes like, that's the pump
so
up you
early.
need.
I just need to feel good.
Yeah.
So check that
That's
out.
awesome.
Any of their other songs are spectacular and worth a listen. And then last on the list, I put Coldplay in here. Coldplay is certainly not a like a B-side band.
Doesn't
but
need
I think
to be.
It doesn't need to be.
I had Green Day on last week.
That's just true. I love this one of these songs on there, and you can kind of see it in the title. Includes hidden track. This is a lost art. So for anybody that did not grow up with CDs, you or tapes or anything, you missed the beauty of a hidden track, and that is after the last song on the album, there was like a minute of silence, and then another song would start playing. It never made the track list, and I was like, thought that was the most beautiful, wonderful thing ever, is a hidden track.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the hidden track on it. Everything's Not Lost is a lovely song, and it's got its own place. So, but I want you to listen to it. You can kind of see the waveform. There's a little gap here.
Oh, yeah.
Towards the end. It's a 7-minute song, which means like the first 5 minutes is Everything's Not Lost, and then there's that like 30 seconds of nothing. And then the hidden track plays, and they've done it at a couple of their live shows, and it's absolutely spectacular. The little minute here is, in my opinion, not long enough, but it piqued my interest, and I arranged it at one point for our a cappella group, and I've listened to the live version so many times, but I wanted to include the original hidden track version here from this.
What is the hidden track called? Is there a title for the hidden track?
Life is for Living.
Life is for Living.
Yeah, the way they perform it here, it's this kind of like beautiful little, it might be an accordion or what's that instrument in India? The
harmonium.
Yeah, harmonium. It's kind of that, and just a voice, and it's kind of this like nice little folksy little. It's really kind of cheesy and sweet and lovely, and yeah, I remember I heard it in the car because I played the CD, and then you're just driving around and you're like, oh, there's another song playing. What's going on? And I loved it, so I wanted to share that with people and maybe reignite the idea of hidden tracks.
Yeah, thank you for. I don't think I ever even heard this track at all, so thank you for sharing this.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Hidden tracks.
Hidden tracks. Take it back to the hidden track. Anyways, maybe that'll make it into the title of this week's podcast.
Hidden tracks.
If you're listening, we'll actually post the playlist for Spotify and Apple on there, so you can listen to all of these songs and all of Kate's songs that are coming next, as well as, subscribe to us here on whatever podcast channel you're listening to. And if you got a minute, try to jump in there and leave us a review. It helps to like kind of spread our word a little bit.
Yeah, it really helps right now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't leave us 4 stars. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What an insult. I've had a number of people who are like, oh, I've actually really been enjoying your podcast, but isn't there any way you can play the songs on the podcast? And I said this before and I'll say it again. We can't do it because of licensing issues. And I also think we keep talking about the lost art of listening to music more intentionally, and it is fun. I do it myself now. I've been listening to our playlists throughout the week, and there's something fun about directly going to this playlist and listening to the music. So it's free. It costs you nothing, and it makes us happy. It doesn't, it's just a nice way to get to share this with each other. I hope that more people can start to listen to music this way because it's really enjoyable and it feels good in your mind and your soul. You know, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah. Well, keep listening and keep changing your algorithm. That's the way to do it, by checking out these playlists. But that is my playlist. That is the end of that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Richie.
Applause.
Thank you very much, Richie. It was a great, I'm very excited to listen to this.
Yes.
This week's playlist.
I know there's a lot to, I think you're going to like a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because I think I know you by now, Kate Bass.
I think you do too. I think you know me pretty well.
All right, good. Well,
all right, my playlist.
Yeah, I don't know what voice that is, but it's coming.
Either.
All right, folks, get ready for the inimitable Kate Bass, week 5.
Inimitable this week. Wow.
Well, you are no longer a coffee pleb.
A coffee
Here we go.
pleb.
Here it is, Kate's songs. All right, what do we got? Oh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, my list is long.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm moving just to a new apartment, but for me, this is one of the first times in, I don't know, a decade that I've moved to a new apartment in the same city that I'm living, and not to some random country on the night train or, wherever. And like literally.
Yeah.
But so it's been an interesting experience packing boxes and just thinking about the new chapter that's already started. Anyway, it's a different way to move, and it's made me just very reflective. And so this week has a mixture of songs that I think I was listening to or thinking about because I was feeling reflective, and songs that I was listening to as I've been packing. But I also noticed something really odd about my list this week. And I don't know what happened, if like my cold, icy Kate heart like warmed this week or something, but there are so many songs here, not all of them, but so many songs that are tied to ex-lovers of mine.
Oh, okay.
It was actually kind of beautiful. So I don't know if you've started doing this, Richie, but I have this ritual where like the night before we record our podcast, I'll sit down and pour myself a glass of something and just listen to my playlist. Because I just find it interesting, because I don't know about you, but I'm genuinely kind of piecing these songs together and plopping it in the list during the week as I'm like, ooh, that's a song that's really stuck out for me this week.
Yep.
So
I don't have a ritual yet. No,
Yeah.
But it does, like, I pop in my playlist as I go, like, through the week.
Yeah.
I'll just add different ones, and then usually the night before or the day of, I'll like try to arrange them in a way that feels like this is
more meaningful,
cohesive list of music. Yeah. But I like your ritual.
Well, so
nice.
during my ritual, I realized that there was kind of a story here, and I know we're not trying to make every week a story week.
Let's start at the beginning. I feel like you created a playlist that starts at 1, so let's start at 1.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if it starts at 1. It's just, I am more chaotic than I seem and more organized than I seem at the same time. Richie's nodding because he knows it's true. I think Richie the other day was like, what did you call it? Spaceship Kate or something like that?
Something like that. I don't remember. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So Jack White, when I had first moved to New York City, I was like 18 years old. I had this apartment that was actually a dorm bed in a terrible dorm that happened to be in the West Village. This was many years ago. And I walked through Union Square. Lo and behold, the White Stripes were playing a free show in Union Square, and I just stumbled on it. This, 18-year-old from Anchorage, Alaska, my first week or two in New York City.
There it is, by the way, the weekly reference to Alaska.
No, I already made it in the beginning.
Oh, you did? I missed it.
You just tune it out at this point. But so anyway, so I remember just watching Jack White, who is... Sorry, Jack White, if you ever listen to this podcast, but he's not the most objectively attractive human being.
Sorry, Jack.
But there was something about the way he performs. It was my first taste, I think, of like, oh, this is a rock star. Like, I was so attracted to him. And I remember also thinking it felt like the beginning of adulthood in a way for me. So Jack White has come out with this new album that he's releasing slowly in pieces, and so far every song that's come off of this new album, I've been like, oh my gosh, yes. So I don't know if you've heard this, but this is one of the new Jack White tunes. So that's that. Anywho, so the second two songs are kind of a couplet, and even though they're really very different in style and genre, I think that most people know both of these artists, but actually it surprises me how many artists I think everyone knows that a lot of people don't know. So Andrew Bird is this indie performer who I discovered on Pandora, if y'all remember Pandora, the online app. Yeah,
okay.
and I had no idea until I saw him perform live that it was just this guy alone, this lanky guy in this giant theater. He had a looping pedal and a microphone and his violin, and he just would pluck different things on the violin and record it in loops in real time and then sing over it, and he filled the whole room. He's such an amazing musician. So anyway, that's Andrew Bird. I'm going to explain why these two songs are a couplet in a second, but also I think you pronounce it Licky Lee. She's just an awesome artist. And it turns out she's from Sweden, which makes sense when you hear the style of her music, just meaning it's got this kind of Nordic, like EDM pop vibe. It's very cinematic.
I think one of the most prolific songwriters in pop music, Max Martin, is Swedish. And there is this successful pop writing that comes out of Sweden that makes it into American and Western, if you will, pop music. And this sound that I think has really dominated a lot of what pop music is for the last 40 years, frankly.
Well, and it's funny, I have to tell you, I had a student years ago when I taught at Los Angeles Community College, a guy named Gabriel, who was super awesome, really talented guy from Sweden, ended up moving back to Sweden, got a job at a songwriting house, writes the tunes for BTS, the K-pop group. And I keep being like, oh man, Gabriel, like, throw your old teacher a bone, hand me some of those millions. Anyway, yes.
Probably doing all right with that.
So these two songs, I put them on my list this week while I was packing, and both songs got me in my nostalgia because I went through a divorce when I was right out of college. I was one of these people who got married to her college boyfriend, wonderful human being. I got married to my college boyfriend, and within about a year and a half, we realized it was not the right decision for the rest of our lives, and we still had our lives ahead of us. And so we made the choice, the very painful, very difficult choice to divorce. And the memory that I have of these two songs is so special to me because I don't think I had ever lived entirely on my own. I had always lived with roommates. I had always lived with a partner or with my family. And I remember this moment. I'm in my late 20s. And I had left the house that I owned with him and moved back into New York City, where I was living for a very long time. And I stayed at a friend of mine at the time. She had an apartment on Central Park North that was this very sweet, very beautiful one bedroom that overlooked the park. And she had a grand piano. She was a classical pianist. She wasn't there. She was on tour. And I was just living alone in this apartment, like, oh my gosh, talk about milestones that you don't know how it's going to feel until you're in it. And for some reason, I have this memory of this day in particular that the sun was shining in through the window. I had gotten like an iced coffee from around the corner. I went back and these songs started playing. And I remember just feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to be okay. And I'm starting to realize there are some songs I'm going to talk about on this list that still have pain inside of them for me. But it's like the hurt is part of the beauty as it evolves. And there's something about these songs coming up on my playlist and remembering so long ago this moment of I was in so much pain. My whole life had been totally exploded and upended. And at the same time, it was like I got to discover myself for the first time. Yeah, every time I hear it, it takes me back to this really beautiful time of loss and rediscovery. And so anyway, that's the first two.
That's so cool. I think you have nostalgia of this song there, and nobody else will have that. And of course, like probably 30 million people have listened to this song, whether they've known it or not, and they have their own memory of that. I think that's the temporal nature of music is beautiful because if you like it, it's almost certainly because you were in a place that it hit you right at the right moment when it impacted you. I think all of our music tastes really have that. That's not what makes music special, I think. So that's a cool story. Thanks for sharing that.
I mean, there'll be more. This list does a lot.
Yeah, we only have 3.
Well, there's something about the Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto actually that I can bring to what you're talking about. So the Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto, this friend whose house I was staying in, we had a very painful friend breakup many years ago. Very painful. We do not talk. We are not on talking terms. She was a very close friend of mine for many years, an absolute prodigy at the piano. One of the most beautiful pianists I think I've ever heard, to be honest. And sometimes relationships don't cut it. Sometimes things go wrong and it's irrevocable in some way. You know, the love, of course, is still there. It's just the ability to be in relationship is no longer accessible. And I think it's interesting. We all talk about romantic breakups and the heartbreak that we have from romantic breakups, but oh my God, a friend breakup is so painful. And it's almost more painful because we don't know how to talk about it. This person is someone I spent so much of my life with and shared so much with. And just because it wasn't romantic doesn't mean it wasn't devastating to lose. So anyway, this friend of mine, she was a brilliant Rachmaninoff pianist. And I remember so many times living in New York City, I got to go to all of these really random places that she would be practicing or places she was doing performances because we were like besties. And sometimes it would be in this extremely wealthy, powerful Manhattan townhouse of like an arts patron of hers or something, or she did performances at different embassies in New York with the chandeliers and the marble everything, and we'd get all dressed up. And or sometimes it would be like, I remember her practicing this piano concerto and this movement there was a like dusty room that Steinway, which is the maker of one of the greatest grand pianos out there. And they had the storeroom. That's the word. They had a storeroom in Manhattan that was just this kind of dusty, fluorescent lit room that was full of these incredible multi-$1,000 grand pianos. And she just got to practice in there once. And she was like, hey, can you come listen to me play through this before I play it with an orchestra? And oh my God, she played the second movement of the Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto. And it was like my heart just like, I don't expect everyone to understand what makes, a classical piano concerto great. But when you listen to this and you hear how the orchestra starts and how the piano comes in and the theme that the piano plays, it goes da 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 da. There's something about it that just feels like it's out of an epic romance movie or something. And because it's so beautiful, I have memory. This song has evolved in so many different circumstances in my life. I had a male best friend many years ago who I had this When Harry Met Sally, thing that never really turned out. And I remember going to hear a performance of the Rachmaninoff Second Piano Concerto with him. And I remember during COVID being isolated alone in this house in Alaska that my friend owned, and it was fall and all the leaves were falling on this lake, and I had been alone for months. And the song came on my playlist, and I just remember watching the leaves fall being like, oh my God, life is so beautiful. So anyway, that's the Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto. And I really hope that people actually listen to some of these classical songs because just because it's classical Western music does not mean that it's not accessible and relatable for people. You just have to find your story in it, Okay, absolutely. On that note, speaking of stories, the next song, I didn't do that on purpose. Maya Andrade is actually from Cabo Verde, if we're going to get all like, World Cup.
Hey, yeah.
But she's an incredible musician, and I learned about her. Again, this is so funny. I genuinely did not plan this way, but I learned about her from an ex-lover of mine from Uganda, and we lived together for a short period. We had an apartment in Uganda. I remember him first introducing me to this album, and we were listening to it in the kitchen in the morning. We were making coffee, which when I lived in Uganda, the coffee that we made was like some Nescafe with all kinds of spices and this fresh Ugandan honey from, local bees. And fresh Ugandan milk. And oh my God, there is nothing like fresh Ugandan milk. And I just remember like sitting on the counter in our little sunny, very simple kitchen in Kampala, Uganda, listening to this song. And that was one of the songs. That was another very, very not good end to that relationship. And it did take me a while to be able to enjoy the songs that he introduced me to again. But now I feel kind of like, hey, part of the beauty of these songs now for me is also remembering these beautiful moments. And it doesn't matter how it ended. All it matters is that story now is a part of my life, and that's what I hear when I hear this song. So that's that. Now we have another couplet, and there's no deep story attached to it. It's just I have this thing that I discovered actually when I was rediscovering what it was like to live alone and to find joy in my own existence again. I love pouring myself a glass of bourbon or wine or, whatever. You can have kombucha and putting on some Otis Redding and Sam Cooke and cooking a really good dinner. It's just, there's something about just the groove in both of those songs that I just feel like all I ever want to do is go cook for some reason every time I listen to those songs. I don't know. Are you an Otis Redding, Sam Cooke kind of guy? Who isn't?
Yeah, and it's funny that that's the context you listen to. Anytime I'm doing like dishes or I have to like clean the house or whatever, like this genre and time of Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, even like expanding into Motown, any rhythm and blues from this time, I think is like, it's always like, I don't know, it makes you feel like good to be doing stuff and human, and it's such like an honest approach to music because there's no auto-tune on any of them, and so sometimes the notes are off, sometimes they're on, but it's like it's all done with such tone and soul and spirit and energy that it's like I can feel what you're feeling right now. It's kind of a very unique part of music that anyway.
You're totally right. So back to Uganda. Tomorrow by Sheba. Sheba is a Ugandan, very famous Ugandan singer. There are these trucks that go by on the streets of Kampala, and especially when you're in one of the more local neighborhoods where we lived, and they just blare music. If you have all the windows shut and everything closed and you do everything you can, you turn on the fans, you still hear it clear as day. They play it so loudly. And it's funny, like there were some nights that I just really wanted to sleep, but it's like 2 a.m. and the truck's going by and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And it's funny because we had done programs in Uganda years before. I had looked up Ugandan music the first time we were working with people in Uganda. I wanted to know, like, okay, other than Eddie Kenzo, who's amazing, like who else is kind of coming out of Uganda? And this song came up, and so I loved it. It's just a really fun song. It's not super deep. It's just fun. But I remember once I lived in Uganda hearing this song blaring on those loud trucks and just being like, oh, Shiva. So anyway, that's now a positive memory. So here we are. We're on song number 9. So High as a Kite has become just a part of my regular rotation. I love them. They're an amazing band that comes out in Norway. I've known this guy since we were in junior high, and our friendship has persisted and grown. And he lives now in like the northernmost reaches of Norway. I asked him once, what's the good music coming out of Norway? And he told me about a bunch of great musicians, which I'm sure will pop up because he's got great music taste. Anyway, they're just fantastic. I think you'd like them, Richie. They've got like all these great, just very epic, cinematic songs that kind of usually start a little bit more atmospheric and then they turn into just these big rock outs. Yeah, it's just great.
I'm into that. That's great.
I know you're into that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, then we get to Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. And that actually I did intentionally put in as I realized that this was all about love songs. It's a great jazz tune. For anyone who doesn't know it, and Ella Fitzgerald, I think her recording of it, her version of it, I think is one of my favorites. There's so many different jazz artists who've covered this song. But one thing I love about this song, especially Ella's version, is that when you listen to it and you actually listen to the words, it's like, it's a little randy in parts, but it's also just talking about this experience
randy.
Yes, I don't know, I say it, but she's also talking about the experience of just kind of like, oh my God, I don't want this to be happening, but like, what am I gonna do? And it's like the human heart. What can we do? I'm bewitched again. I'm wild again. Beguiled. Do you know this song?
I don't. So I'm excited to hear it with whatever accent this is you're doing. Also, Randy, by the way, that makes me think of names. How did Randy become? Because now I feel like nobody says Randy anymore in the way that you just did. But people are named Randy. Anyway.
Oh my God, poor Randy.
Poor Randy. Well,
yeah. Cheeks hurt.
Bill and Dick and Karen and everybody with names that are associated with.
What's wrong with Bill? I haven't heard anything bad about Bill.
Well, there was my brother met a guy that is keeping a tab of all the Bills in the world just for whatever reason.
Okay, for whatever. Okay.
Yeah, the only bad thing about Bill is like it's like the last thing you want to get in the mail. But
unless it's a dollar bill, I don't know.
Yeah, good point. Okay, well, there's 2 bills.
Bill needs to work on his thesis.
Look, I'm not supporting Bill's cause. I'm just saying there are people who lament their name, and Randy, maybe 90 years ago, felt that way. But
I mean, Randy's kind of fun, you know? It's kind of fun.
Well, that's a good point. Maybe he's like trying to bring it back.
Yeah, like if Kate all of a sudden meant like sexy and fun, I don't know if I'd have a problem with it. Like,
yeah, you're like, hey, I'm Kate. People are like, wow.
Gentlemen.
Like, chill out. This is a...
But I digress. Yeah, this is a networking meeting.
I guess that's a form of networking. Anyway.
Okay, so
that's Ella.
That's Ella.
I feel like Ella Fitzgerald, by the way, is always like on the top of people's list of like, I love her voice and I like jazz music. I think she always comes up as like a big favorite for people. But
I could go off for hours on Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I mean, in a great way.
She is one of the greatest, not only singers, but, musicians of the modern age.
Yeah.
Her ability to improvise and, I mean, she's not just a soulful singer. She's not just a woman with a beautiful voice. She's not just an expressive, beautiful, performer. But, oh my God, her ability to... Like, I don't even like scat singing. And Ella Fitzgerald, the way she scat sings, like, it's like nothing else, no one else on the planet. There's a famous video of Ella Fitzgerald singing duets with Frank Sinatra. And Frank Sinatra's like, doing a Frank Sinatra thing.
I'm Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. And look, he was amazing. Like, there's no question. Sure. He was a beautiful singer, that wonderful. But man, Ella Fitzgerald just gets up there like she's not even she doesn't even need to try to prove anything. She showed him up. They weren't even competing. And she showed him up like to kingdom come. Like there's no.
It's like, okay,
Yeah,
here's
she's
the mic.
incredible.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad you put this on the list because I think as much as people look at her in sort of like a musical reverence, or at least like she's amazing, she doesn't always make it onto the playlist, and so I appreciate that you put her in there.
Just get ready, Richie. There's Ella's on like when I was studying jazz with the Siberian jazz musician Yevgeny Chernonog, I was made a mix CD that had Dinah Washington, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and Billie Holiday. And I had already kind of heard them before, but I remember I just wore that CD out like crazy. And I still to this day think, even when it comes to my pop singing and everything, I think she's one of the biggest influences I have as a singer. Not even intentional, she's just incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
In a similar oeuvre, we have May...
Go on. Please don't let me interrupt.
Oh no. Okay, we're derailed.
Just the way you leaned into it.
Okay. Doing great. We should put a picture of me crying on the cover of this and say it's like Kate's heartbreak stories or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just her being pretentious. Can you be pretentious, Richie?
Yes. I don't even know how to start.
I'm trying to ask, can you be pretentious if you're not doing it intentionally? Is it still pretentious?
I think that makes it pretentious, if you're being intentional about it.
Well, no, because if you're pretentious, then you're trying to sound fancy. Anyway, okay, enough about
that. Well, okay.
Okay.
You were just being fancy.
I was just being fancy.
in a
Okay,
similar
in a
oeuvre.
similar oeuvre. Damn it, don't make me laugh anymore.
Hey, have you heard my French joke, by the way?
No, please.
It's great. In France, if you ask for an omelet, they only make it with one egg. Did you know that?
Because it's enough.
It's enough. One egg is enough.
God. Thank you. That ruined the laughing fit. Thank you very much.
Wow.
It's a good dad joke. It's a good dad joke. It's a good dad joke.
material. Have
It's
I told
better
it
than.
before?
No, you haven't. I haven't heard
Have
it.
you
It's
heard the
very
one?
good. I just
Well,
speak French.
you didn't.
So I figured it out.
You didn't laugh appropriately enough. It was
Well,
funny
I
over the
figured it out. I was too proud of myself. Here, you can get me back. Where did the wasp go when it was sick?
top. Where did the wasp go when it was sick? Some kind of hive joke? Some kind of beehive?
Nope.
Some kind
Less
of stinger?
intelligent. Less intelligent.
I don't know.
It's so dumb.
Wasp. I don't know. There's probably a portmanteau here that I'm about to hear.
The waspital. Yeah, see? It's not funny. Great. Okay,
No, and
now.
I feel dumber.
No, you're not dumb at all. It's so
No,
stupid
I'm-
you wouldn't even
How
think
did
of
I
it.
not? Okay, anyway.
Okay, so moving on to one of the more earnest songs on my playlist.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you've ever heard of May Erlewine. Have you heard of her? Erlewine? I
can't
don't know
say
how
I
you say her
have.
name. She's just one of these singers who I'm like, she's successful in her niche, but I'm shocked that she's not more successful. She is such a beautiful singer. She's such a wonderful jazz singer too. Palm of My Hand is a song that I don't even know how I discovered it, but the lyrics to it are so wonderful. I just love this song because I feel like at my age, after all of the ups and downs of my wildly adventurous and romantic and beautiful and extremely painful love life, it you laugh because you know it's true. Richie's been my friend for way too long. He knows. If I were to fall in love again, that's the kind of love that I think I would want. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Those are the words. Listen to the words. And speaking of words, Rainforest, No Name is an artist I heard on the radio at Austin Public Radio. She's a very philosophical, deep thinking person. This song, the lyrics, she's a rapper, and the lyrics in it, she says, I think it's, how do you get closer to love? How do you eliminate all your sadness when you're opening up? But then it gets political and it gets into all this other stuff, which is so very me. Like she starts talking about love and she ends up talking about race relations
Legislation.
and yeah, literally.
Yeah. Cool.
And I just think she's a badass. I love a lot of her stuff. You should check her out.
I do like the choice of No Name. I think for a person, you have to be called something, and so to kind of force yourself to have no name, it's intriguing.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, she's intriguing. It's a great song. Okay, so Nothing Without You has another love story. It popped up on my playlist, so you can't blame me. But this, I yet again, Kate Bass fell in love with another beautiful, remarkable, magical human being in India. And he was a tabla. He's still alive? I'm not. He's a tabla player. That is, for those of you who don't know the tabla, it is drum, or two drums rather. They're set to different tones, and so it's actually kind of a melodic and percussive instrument. It's an incredibly rich and complex instrument, and to be honest, ever since I was a child and my mother played me a CD of music from India, I would genuinely say the tabla is probably my favorite instrument in existence. Wow, look at this. That's it. They have to tune every drum by hammering out those little, see those little cylinders that are on different sides of the smaller drum? It's a really incredible instrument, and Indian rhythmic patterns are talk about a whole world in themselves. I haven't talked enough about Indian music. I'm sure it's not
More to
because
come,
I
I'm
don't.
sure.
Yeah, it will go on forever and ever and ever.
Here it comes.
So, yeah.
More. Yeah. Okay.
So that's the tabla.
I gotta go back.
Okay. So anyway, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan is one of the most legendary musicians in the history of India. And it's shocking to me how many people outside of India don't really know a lot about him, if anything at all. He's famous for the style of singing called Qawwali, where it's traditionally a Sufi style of singing, where it's just an act of pure devotion and love and joy. And the singer goes into this almost trance-like state of improvisation on a theme. I was living at my cousin's house in Mumbai at the time. My cousin has this deck outside of his house. You've been there. It has this deck that overlooks the Arabian Sea. It's on the edge of Mumbai, and Mumbai is just there's such a special place, and it's just so alive. There's always, especially when you're high up and you look out and you see these different parts of Mumbai, and you know, over in that direction, there's, you know, the fishermen are pulling in their fish from the night, literally, and there's, you know, all the rickshaws going by at nighttime, and you can hear a distant wedding like every day. There's some festival or some wedding, and there's fireworks and there's noise and there's people, and then you look out on that side and you just hear the waves coming in from the Arabian Sea, and there's it's such a incredible, magical place. And I remember one night sitting out on my cousin's patio listening to this song on repeat just over and over and over again. And there are these bats that fly over that look like, they're huge. They look like birds. So I have this beautiful memory of this song and the feeling of waiting for this person I was so excited to see. And for me, so many of these songs carry bittersweetness with them. You know, I still feel these pangs even talking about it. And at the same time, I want to share it on our podcast for the few people listening, because I think that the more we can remember why music is important and why music holds these emotional worlds that are important to honor and to love, I think that we can maybe connect deeper with our humanity and get out of these algorithms and get out of this background music. And okay, the Coolin and Au bord de l'eau. The Coolin is a choral piece, actually, and it was just in my head last night. It's a beautiful song.
Is that the translation of it? The Coolin means the fair-haired one?
It means either the fair-haired one or the beloved or something like it. That's from Gaelic. But the poem is a translation from Gaelic, and it's this beautiful, I added this yesterday because I was thinking about love, and it's this beautiful expression again of love. And it's these two people. It says, "Come with me under my coat." And they just sit together out on the side of the hill, and we'll talk until we get tired of talking and there's nothing left to do but to just, you know, be. And I remember singing it in a choir at some point in my life, and just being so affected by how beautiful and simple and yet deep the song was. So I wanted to share that.
That's such a lovely concept too. I think as relationships go on, I think you've said all your jokes and you've commented on all these things, and sometimes like there's no need to say anything else, or you can kind of just wake up and exist for a while and move through your day and just experience the world. And when you're with somebody for long enough or close enough, maybe you don't have to talk about everything, but you can kind of just say like, oh, I know what you're feeling right now because I've known you long enough and well enough to like experience this. And that's kind of a beautiful moment where it's like we've said it and we're just here experiencing the world. That's a really kind of special moment, I think, the passion. Like, that sounded so corny and cheesy.
No,
but...
it was lovely, and it's going in because we're talking about love. You know, I think the whole like, oh, we're gonna do love songs for Valentine's Day, that really makes you want to vomit. And so for me, I decided to keep my list all lovey-dovey because I don't know. To me, it's very organic and natural that this seemed to be on my mind this week. And
well, I've heard love is a big topic in music, so it's, to leave that out is.
And that's the other thing is
impossible.
I like that a lot of these songs aren't actually even about love. Some of them are, but I like different expressions of it. It gets a little tiring when you know that it's just written to appeal to, you know, your hormones or whatever. But anyway, on the same note, this is another couplet. So the cool one is about just sitting together. Come with me under my coat. We'll just watch the world go by. Au bord de l'eau is. I know. You know what's funny?
Studied.
I studied French since elementary school. I'm just being it out.
You can say that. Are you trying to tone down your francophone?
Yes, exactly.
Tendency so that you don't sound so.
So that I don't sound so pretentious. I'm making myself pretentious.
Another
to sound less
oeuvre.
pretentious. Another oeuvre. So anyway, this piece is a very simple piece by a great French composer, written composed over a poem that was written, and the lyrics are very beautiful. Basically, it's also just about you're just sitting on the bank of the water, and it's these two people who are you're just with your love, and you're just watching the world go by, and that's kind of how life is. It's just this kind of, I don't know. And when you hear the music, you hear this the piano goes dum dum dum, and the singer sings "Sa soir tout deux au bord du flot qui passe." So you can kind of hear like the waves lapping in, and the two people just sitting under the breeze. It's very evocative once you know what it's about.
That
So,
can I say something about that too?
please.
Okay, so Au bord de l'eau, the title is similar to Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. And
Yeah.
it's speaking of Otis Redding. I think this like idea of musicians that happen to have the same experience and then wrote similar songs or different songs in their own style based on that same experience, I think is really cool. You had a song, I think it was last week, that was, I think it was Cuando llora la guitarra, like when
Oh yeah, the
when the
Peruvian
guitar
song.
weeps. Yeah, it's the same title as like while my guitar gently weeps. It's like they have kind of these same experiences and ideas, and then end up writing a song about it. I think that's something
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to think
Well, and
about. So yeah,
it's beautiful
this
that it's
became
pervasive.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
This is from what, the 1800s or something, it's like
Exactly. And last
yeah.
time you were at the edge of a water where there's a lake or a river or an ocean, maybe you had a nice moment, and to think like you too could come away with a beautiful piece of music from that is
Yeah.
a cool shared human experience.
That is a really good way to put it. Just like all these emotions are shared human experiences, even the symbolism behind the emotions becomes shared too. It's kind of
Yeah.
And just really quick thing about Ellie Ameling, the singer. She was my hero, one of my heroes growing up. The other singer next to Ella Fitzgerald, probably, who influenced me the most in terms of my classical singing. And I got to sing for Ellie Ameling. And Ellie Ameling said something to me that I'll never forget. She said, "So you've got a beautiful voice. So what? There are a million Steinways in the world. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how beautiful the instrument is. It matters what you do with it and how you express with it." And I just remember being really, it sounds like she was being really mean to me, and she was being very hard on me, but it really affected me, and it kind of got me out of this pageantry that we so easily fall into when we're performers, of just like, who cares how pretty your voice is or how smart you are, or how, good looking you are, whatever it is that that we all how rich you are, whatever it is that we have to kind of feel superior with. What matters is what you do with it. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
that's great advice.
That.
How many music critics or teachers or people have come up and said, "Oh, that was lovely," and it's nice to hear and nice to know that. But to actually have some advice like that is so helpful. I would rather hear that any day. But.
Very formative advice in my life. Okay, the last song, I'm just going to say the last song first before I end on Hejira, because Hejira is so special to me. But the last song is this awesome, I've just been packing to it. It's a Saudi song, obviously, because it's a Saudi. And it's a bunch of like rappers. And I saw a video of this on Instagram recently. They're all just kind of like on a rooftop somewhere jamming on this together. And it's just really good. And I just feel like it's got a great beat. And I'm just into it. I'm into the vibe of it.
You're into the vibe. I'm curious about, so they've used a 7 and a 3 in their name. Yeah, I was curious like where that comes from, because the 7 and the 3 in Arabic numerals sound different than we would say it, or is it more for the symbol? I don't know. What is it? Tell me.
It's street Arabic. So when you translate Arabic or transliterate it or whatever, when you turn it into English letters, there are certain vowels in Arabic like we were talking about this the other day, that comes more from the throat. There are certain vowels and consonants in Arabic that you can't approximate in English lettering. And so in street Arabic, they write the different vowels and letters as 7s and 3s. And there's another one. And I remember there was a group of songwriters that I worked with in Lebanon for many years. I was studying Arabic for a while, and they were helping teach it to me. And they were the ones who taught me about the 3 and the 7 and all that. And I used to be pretty good about it, but I don't. Unfortunately, I've lost a lot of my memory of what it is. But yeah, that's
cool.
what it is. Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
Okay, so my final song, Hejira. Joni Mitchell
By Joni Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about Ella Fitzgerald. We're talking about Ellie Ameling. Joni Mitchell, I have goosebumps just thinking about her. She's, talk about a bard. I just think she's one of the deepest, most important influences in my life. And her songs and her music have come up at different times in ways that I've never expected it. And of course, Joni Mitchell's Blue album, she's so famous for. Everybody knows Both Sides Now, or many people know Both Sides Now. There are a lot of really famous songs that she wrote, especially on the Blue album, like California, different songs like that. I'm sure I'll have many Joni Mitchell songs on my list throughout the course of this podcast. But Hejira, I didn't know. And this was another one of the most painful breakups of my life. I was flying back from Lebanon after my first long trip where I went to Eritrea, which we spoke about, and Lebanon, and my life was completely changed. And I knew I wanted to work in cross-cultural diplomacy. I knew that it was like what I had been looking for all of these years of my life. It felt like this whole part of myself opened up that I didn't know was there. And I couldn't go back to the life that I had been planning and also pursue this passion and purpose in my life. I don't need to go further into it than that. But I was on the plane back from Lebanon, true story, looking out the window, and I had never heard this song before. And it was on, you know, when you fly on, I guess probably now all flights, but it was an Emirates flight. They have this like Emirates radio. Yeah. And I was just listening to it because I always want to find new music. And this song came on. And I'll never forget just looking out the window, just weeping. Because I just felt like in the lyrics, she says so much. It's such a deep song. She talks about how it's never been easy, whatever direction you choose to take, whether you choose to live this more extreme life or stick to a more straight life. And you know, relationships are complicated no matter what. And she expresses the way it feels for her, that she sees something of herself everywhere in the world. One of the lines that stuck out the most for me, she says, "We're all particles of change orbiting around the sun. But how can I have that point of view when I'm always bound to another person?" And at that time, I was feeling it so intensely because I wanted to be with this person I loved, and I wanted to orbit the sun, you know, like, anyway, Hejira means journey in Arabic. It's just one of her most deep songs. And that song for me, every time I listen to it, it kind of stops me in my tracks because I just remember that moment of everybody likes to romanticize the nomad life, and I am so proud and happy to be able. There are so many women on this planet that are not able to even be free to wear what they want or to show their faces, much less use their voices, much less not be married, much less not have children. And to be able to be a woman who's able to be free, and my family is okay with it, and I'm able to live the life that I want to live and to choose if and who I want to be with. And it also comes with some real baggage and some real pain. So that's what the song meant to me. And I just took everything really deep, but that's, I guess, what happens when your playlist turns out to be about like decades of complicated love all over the world.
Whether you know it or not. Yeah. Well, I noticed
that's my
this
list.
Was your penultimate song. This is not the last one. It looks like you bring the list back to a different level at the end. Why was the song not last?
Well, I was going to end on Hejira. It's funny that you asked me that. I was going to end on Hejira. That was what I had settled with last afternoon or something. But then last night I was packing and I felt just, I don't know, life is this constant cycle of death and rebirth. Yeah. And Hejira is not a sad song to me, but it is a death in a way. It's an understanding of, and actually at the end of Hejira, she starts out by saying, "I'm traveling in a vehicle, and some vehicle somewhere, I'm on tour, and I'm a defector from the petty wars that shell-shocked love away," is what she says, meaning I have escaped this relationship that wasn't working out. And then at the very end, she goes back to, I'm traveling in some vehicle, I'm sitting in some cafe, I'm a defector of the war until love sucks me back that way. And I just love that because it's this constant, like, you're sad and then you're free and then you're happy and then maybe you're in love again and then you're happy in a different way and then maybe you're sad again. And it's just this, life is this constant undulation of ups and downs. And anyway, the last song was I suppose the rebirth song.
Fair enough. That does tie us back full circle. We had kind of originally talked about how no matter what status you get to in your career, in your life, there's always a greener grass or a higher level or a more successful person or more love or less love or whatever that we all kind of aspire to and aspire to have. And I don't know, maybe that's kind of
That
the
was an
topic of
epic
today.
callback. Epic. Really well done. That's a mic drop kind of moment. And with
But
that, friends.
No, this song too. I mean, what you just said really makes me miss the radio, the way it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, that there's how many instances, even if it's a song that you know or that you've heard before, but it plays at this time that you don't control, and some other DJ on the other side of it decided that record needed to play at that moment. That doesn't really happen anymore. It's, you know, iHeartRadio tells you what song you're listening to now, and that's it. And, you know, not to say that radio hasn't always been sort of driven by a giant record company and blah, 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 but the humanity, I think, has been sucked right out of it. Yeah. So I don't know. So that's cool. That's a beautiful moment, and I'm sure somebody out there has had their version of that in some way too. But
yeah,
thank
you,
Emirates
wept on an airplane.
Oh yeah, I made the mistake or the good fortune of watching The Whale on a plane. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
Anyway, the end of the movie came, and I'm just like, and of course it's the moment where like, would you like a juice or a sandwich? I'm like, yes, I'll get a tomato juice.
Do you have any chicken?
Yeah, you're out of chicken. Okay, vegetarian's fine. Anyway,
but don't you? I feel a little comfort in it now. Whenever I see someone else crying on the plane, I'm like, I get you. It's all good, man.
Yeah, but you can't go and like fist bump, like, yeah, cry on the plane.
No, you let them. Yeah, let them have their time.
What solidarity,
God, Richie, the number of planes I've cried on, to the number of crazy ass places. I can't even. It's crazy to think about how many really weird meaning like unexpected parts of the planet I have been flying to and crying.
Kate's tears.
Kate's tears. Week
spread
5.
Around the world. Thank you, music, and whatever this career might be called. Anyway, well, wonderful list. Thank you for discovering the theme therein and bringing us some morsels from all over.
Yeah, thanks
all
for
over your life, and
thanks for
this is
listening. It's funny how themes kind of pop up that we don't even intend, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, as intentional as you try to be and think like, oh, I'm going to put this on there. It's just music always has this way, but you're like, no. This is what it's really about. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm going to do the plug thing one more time. If you want to, if you need to do this. You got to go and listen to these playlists. We post the full playlist that Kate and I have come up with. We'll put them up on our accounts, and so we want you, now that you've listened to us talk about them, to go listen on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you have your music. But it's the way to break your algorithm, change it up, and shake up what you hear and choose what you listen to. You are in control, and at least if you're listening to our podcast here, you can say, all right, there's some meaning behind these songs that I didn't know before, and you can shape your world to be something a little different than the algorithm decides it ought to be.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yay.
There you go. Share our podcast. Tell us what songs you think ought to be popped into this podcast. We want to share it and hear what you got. But until next week, that's it for me. Is there anything else to add, Kate Bass?
No, I'm all out of stuff. I'm ready for some lunch.
Oh,
all right, are we done? We're done.
I think we're done.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.
If I do it like this, my nose looks really big. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Harpreet, that's for you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Entry Points Radio. You can find the full playlist and connected links for this episode in the show notes. Subscribe for behind the scenes, playlist archives, and more at our Substack and Patreon. Your support makes our work possible. Follow us on Instagram at Entry Points Radio. If something in the episode opened a door for you, send it to a friend. That's the whole point. We'll be back next week with more music beyond the algorithm.